Urek crashes onto the slick arena, water splashing around net dolphins snapping at his boots. He snarls, snaps 3 lighthouses into alignment, and a faint glow pinpoints the crown. Kale darts forward, snatches the throne, and plants his weight as the timer ticks down. Lloyd shouts coordinates, Rio lunges, and Myra's grin fades when Urek's fist shatters the cage, sealing their victory. Urek crashes into the dolphin-infested arena, grin flashing as the timer blares. He snaps his fingers, 3 lighthouses flare, and a glowing crown slides into view. Kale lunges, Lloyd shouts coordinates, and Juan tosses a makeshift net while Rio snarls from the shadows.
The arena doors swing open, revealing a sprawling net dolphin habitat that shimmers under dim lanterns. Urek's team steps inside, their hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and dread. A nervous kid waves a tiny flag, his wide eyes promising a fierce fight. Urek grins, already mapping the arena's layout, while Kale cracks jokes to keep the tension low. The crowd watches, breaths held, as the entrance seals behind them, trapping everyone with hungry predators. The first wave of danger looms, and every regular knows the crown lies just beyond the deadly sea.
What a cute kid. I'm anxious because I want to fight.
The group huddles, whispering a reckless scheme. First, we find the crown. Lloyd insists, his voice tight. Then we sprint past the throne, crash onto it at the last second. Kale nods, eyes gleaming with mischief. We'll be the final winner, he declares, fists pounding the wet floor. Their plan hinges on timing and audacity, daring the sea beasts to ignore their bold dash. They sprint toward the glowing point, hearts pounding, trusting sheer will to outpace the ticking clock.
That person.
A massive, tentacled monster erupts from the depths, its eye glinting with hunger. The team freezes, weapons raised, as the creature's roar shakes the water. Urek's pulse spikes, knowing a single misstep could cost lives. He lunges, slashing at a writhing limb, while Kale throws his spear, aiming for the beast's vulnerable throat. The monster thrashes, knocking them aside, splintering the arena's floor. Their coordinated attack forces the creature to retreat, but the damage to the platform leaves a gaping hole that threatens to swallow anyone who slips. Their victory feels hollow as the arena crumbles around them.
Watch the edge, it's giving way.
The collapse reveals a hidden staircase that could lead straight to the crown. The scout bursts from the darkness, grinning wildly as he declares the entire arena a decoy and the coveted crown nowhere to be found, shattering the team's only hope. Urek feels his pulse spike with dread while teammates scramble, their trust cracking and desperation rising as the promise of victory evaporates, leaving them teetering on the edge of collapse. A booming voice echoes from the far wall, mispronouncing Urek's name as Urek Mazino, igniting confusion and a lurking threat that hangs over the shattered battlefield, demanding a desperate answer. This channel exists because of fans like you. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and keep it going. Urek Mazino stands alone, the tower's deadliest monster breathing fire on his own allies. The arena crackles, the crowd's roar fades, and a single challenger steps forward, eyes fixed on the prize. Urek wants the crown game's victory, a chance to test his newfound Shin's technique. The challenger's reputation blocks him. He's a ranker famed for crushing irregulars. Urek charges, fists clenched, intent blazing. He lands a thunderous blow that shatters the ranker's guard, forcing the opponent to stagger back, blood spilling across the sand. The arena trembles, and the spectators gasp, waiting for the next move. The true test has only just begun. The ranker pauses, a grin tugging at his lips. "One thing before you go," he says, leaning in like a conspirator. You stare, heart thudding, waiting for a hint or a warning. "What should I do if I want to challenge you?" you ask, voice steady despite the tremor inside. He waves a dismissive hand. "You don't need permission for something like that." The words sting, a reminder that the tower's bureaucracy can't bind true ambition. You feel a spark of defiance flare, ready to carve your own path. The answer is already too late. The ranker's chuckle reverberates as he explains the tower's rule. No administrator can refuse a challenge.
The instructor steps forward, eyes narrowed, and explains that ordinary Shin's control bends the user creates. Urek's Shins erupt like a chaotic storm, a Shin's disaster, that threatens to explode outward. He bristles at the insult, hearing the sarcasm behind Mr. Dog, and feels his pride flare. The trainer warns that without mastery, the disaster will consume him, forcing Urek to accept that he can't simply live as a walking hazard. The warning settles like ice on his spine, and his fists clench tighter. What comes next changes everything. The trainer offers a solution. Conquer the disaster, not suppress it. Urek's goal sharpens. Turn the chaos into a weapon.
The ranker steps back, eyes narrowed, demanding an explanation for the unexpected technique. He wants to know if Urek can replicate this power reliably. The ranker's skepticism blocks any easy praise, forcing Urek to justify his improvisation. He grins, wiping sweat from his brow, and declares the move 10 Serpent Fist, a name he conjures on the spot to cement its identity. The crowd murmurs, the regular Danton nods approvingly, and the ranker's expression shifts from doubt to grudging respect. Yet the cost looms. Urek's muscles ache, his stamina drained, and the net he forged shows the first signs of fraying.
/10 Serpent Fist / that's what I decided to call it.
Urek unleashes his net technique, spiraling golden shins into a cyclone that crushes the arena floor, then snaps them back into a trembling heap, shocking the ranker with power no regular should command. Urek feels his reputation teeter on a razor's edge, craving validation while fearing exile, as the ranker's accusing glare threatens to strip him of every hard-won rank and honor. The ranker tightens his grip on the arena's unseen forces, promising a brutal reckoning, leaving Urek's newfound technique hanging in the balance as darkness gathers beyond the shattered walls. The choice is yours, but the right answer is subscribing to Manwa with Hari. Urek sidesteps Danton's slicing shins, his fists suddenly measured instead of wild. Each blow lands like a calculated promise, forcing the irregular into a disciplined rhythm. Danton's grin cracks as he spits a secret. An island beyond the tower, a world outside, and a hidden cadre of irregulars. The arena trembles. Urek's battle morphs into a chess game for the tower's very soul. Urek sidesteps Danton's relentless shins barrage, swapping his wild, headfirst brawling for razor-sharp precision. Each strike shatters the notion that rank alone decides victory, as the battle morphs into a clash of reckless youth versus hardened adult power. Urek meets Danton's crushing shins, and instantly swaps his reckless brawling for razor-sharp precision. Each strike a chess move against childhood chaos. As the blows land, Danton spits truths. Irregulars lurk beyond Urek, an outside realm flickers beyond the tower's walls, and a forgotten island haunts the test supervisor's past. The arena turns into a battlefield of secrets, and every echo threatens to topple the tower's very foundation. If you want more daily recaps, hit that subscribe button now. Urek feels the arena's pulse thrum under his skin, but the lingering heat of the previous clash makes his mind drift toward a strange urge for peace. Danton circles, his grin widening, eager to prove his shins still dominate. He wants Urek to falter, to let his disciplined stance crack under pressure. The arena's dust curls around his boots, obscuring his next move and buying him a split-second edge. He lunges forward, shouting a guttural challenge. Next, you'll feel the real pain. Urek snaps his head toward the warning, sidesteps the incoming kick, and counters with a rapid palm strike that catches Danton's ribs. The impact forces a grunt from the regular, yet Danton's eyes flash with a cold fire, promising a second wave. Danton wipes blood from his lip, his voice rough as broken stone.
Danton leans in, eyes glittering, and asks the question that has haunted Urek since his awakening. What is the island the test supervisor once glimpsed? He wants the secret to fuel his own agenda, hoping Urek will spill the hidden knowledge. Urek's memory flickers. He recalls a fleeting vision of a misty shore, a place whispered among conspirators. The weight of that secret presses on him, but he refuses to hand it over. He steadies his breath, ready to protect the mystery even if it costs him his next battle. The arena holds its breath, waiting for the island's truth to surface.
Danton leans in, eyes glittering, and whispers a shocking secret about a coveted pink rabbit, demanding Urek surrender the island's truth or watch his allies crumble. Urek's pride shatters as betrayal burns his heart, forcing him to choose between his relentless escape plan and the crushing weight of a hidden, personal loss. The Minotaur's nest looms, its horned shadows guarding the island's key, while Danton's vanished form flickers, promising a deadly showdown that could rewrite every rule of the tower.
You know it's good when you forget what time it is. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Urek lunges at the general supervisor, his fist crackling with raw power, while the Dolphin Queen's mournful song pierces the arena. The regulars scramble, pleading for the Queen's life, their eyes darting between Urek's fury and the fragile ecosystem. In a heartbeat, he pauses, the weight of a collapsing ocean world pressing on his shoulders, and a whispered, unlit gem flickers in his mind. Urek's fists crackle as the Dolphin Queen's crown glints, the tower's fragile ecosystem trembling beneath his roar. He lunges at the general supervisor, eyes blazing, while Khan and Yuri scream, "Don't!" The Queen's daily feast ripples through the net-woven sea, feeding every creature. If she falls, the whole floor dies.
A hushed murmur spreads as a dolphin drifts into a lazy sleep, its eyes glazed, oblivious to the chaos. The regulars watch, hoping the creature's calm will buy them time. Suddenly, a shadow looms. A massive figure steps forward, its silhouette dark against the water-filled arena. The regulars brace, fearing a hidden trap, while Urek's grin fades into a hard stare. The sleeping dolphin twitches, as if sensing danger, and the floor's subtle currents shift, pulling at everyone's legs. The tension spikes, and the crew realizes the test may have another hidden layer. He has no idea what's waiting.
He's sleeping.
The remaining regulars exchange frantic glances, each whispering that no one could match the intruder's strength. Could it be that regular? Is he stronger than us? One gasps, eyes wide. Another snarls, "It's not possible." Their doubts swirl like eddies, while a distant murmur wonders if the mere arrival of these strangers triggered the Queen's collapse. No one dares to answer, the water muffling their thoughts. The only thing they know, the test has already shifted, and every plan they made crumbles with the Queen's fall. But the real problem is already in motion. As the currents settle, the Queen's calm returns, her massive form hovering above the abyss. Urek Mazino shatters the crystal corridor's lock with a thunderous kick, flooding the chamber with blinding light as the sealed gate fractures open. The regulars gasp, their hope igniting while their leader's resolve crumbles, realizing the tower's ultimate test may require sacrificing everything they cherish. A distant, cryptic voice whispers about the person by the wall of Lord Fan Tammy number, leaving the heroes teetering on the brink of an unknown, deadly revelation.
Statmaxing is an art form. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to watch the numbers go up.
You feel the weight of the crown crushing the Queen's breath, and the whole arena trembles with that truth. Urek knows the only way forward is to snatch the crown without harming her, because her life fuels the floor's balance. The rule-bound overseer snarls, reminding them that reckless blows will shatter the whole game. Urek circles the arena, eyes scanning for a blind spot, while the Queen's guards tighten their grip on every blade. He lunges, grabs the crown's rim, and pulls it free just as a hidden trap snaps shut, sending a surge of pain through the Queen's spine. And that's not even the worst part.
You cannot kill her. The floor will collapse.
Urek bursts through the arena's trembling walls, his grin splitting the gloom as the water-spiked crown throbs beneath the monster's claws. He slams his fist into the surface, sending a tidal shockwave that shatters the beast's armor, while Bam, Kun, and Rak dive after the fleeing crown holder. The cursed village's scream fades, replaced by the roar of a top regular claiming his prize. The rising tide forces a choice that could seal their fate. The team scrambles toward the arena's edge, each step a race against the rising tide. Their eyes lock on the water-slicked floor where the yellow bulls roar louder the nearer they get to the surface. A sudden splash erupts as dolphins burst from the shallow pool, their silhouettes flashing like warning signs. The crowd gasps, bewildered by the impossible sight. The dolphins circle the arena's edge, their clicks forming a rhythm that seems to pulse with the monster's heartbeat. The team freezes, unsure whether to chase the creatures or stay put, fearing the water's next surge. One of them lunges, trying to grab a dolphin, only to be knocked back by a hidden current that sweeps him toward the arena's far wall. He crashes into the stone, breath ripped from his lungs.
Urek slams his palm into the basalt floor, cracking the rune that seals the arena's edge.
The newcomer stammers, eyes darting, trying to hide his confusion. He wants to appear knowledgeable to keep the crowd's trust, but the villagers shout accusations. Their voices clash, demanding proof of his status. He fumbles, denying the lie, but the arena's echo magnifies his hesitation. The monster's gaze fixes on him, as if sensing his deceit. The water surges, pulling at his feet, testing his resolve. He finally admits his ignorance, the crowd's murmurs swelling into a roar of disbelief. The arena cracks again, sealing the path behind them.
Sparks erupt from Urek's gauntlet as he slams the cracked stone floor, scattering dust clouds that billow like restless spirits. He lunges toward the trembling water guardian, fists crackling with raw regular power, while Bam shouts tactical commands and confires a precise arrow that shatters the monster's shield. Rak roars, swinging his massive axe to cleave a surge of brine, and the cursed village child scrambles toward the fleeing crown, eyes wide with desperate hope.
With the wounded man barely conscious, the leader demands a way to break the curse, frustration crackling in his voice. He grabs a broken shard of stone, slamming it into the water, hoping to spark a clue. Urek shatters the arena's cracked floor, sparking a torrent of water-charged energy that forces the monstrous guardian to recoil, exposing a hidden tunnel that could lead the team to freedom. The wounded newcomer teeters on the brink of death, his desperate plea for a cure ripping through the group's resolve, while Urek feels the crushing weight of responsibility for every life hanging in the balance. The beast lunges back, its massive limbs sealing the only exit as the tunnel collapses, leaving the heroes trapped in darkness with the curse still unbroken and a looming, unseen threat closing in.
The alliance just broke. It's every man for himself. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Urek lunges at the maddening monster, a roar ripping through the chamber as shards of debris explode outward. Miss Evelyn screams, caught in the beast's grasp, while Granapple Sancho slams the family-passed shiny stone onto the floor, casting a fleeting veil of Shinsu that freezes the creature's limbs. The queen bursts onto the scene, snatching the stone and sprinting into darkness, leaving a trembling silence and a new, deadly mystery. Urek Mazino lunges at the crazy monster, smashing through its snarling limbs while Miss Evelyn screams, clutching the glittering stone. Granapple Sancho shoves the artifact into the fray, and a pulse of Shinsu ripples, freezing the beast's roar. The monster, enraged by the sudden theft, launches a furious charge at Urek, who still clutches Evelyn's shaking arm. He wants to protect her and finish the fight before the queen's move backfires. The creature's massive weight slams the ground, sending shockwaves that knock Urek off balance. He steadies himself, grits his teeth, and drives his remaining Shinsu into the beast's eye, blinding it temporarily. Evelyn clings to his shirt, her fear palpable, while the monster reels, blinded and roaring. The cost? Urek's vision blurs from the strain, and Evelyn's trembling hand slips, nearly falling. The answer is already too late.
You hear Urek's roar split the cavern. Then Miss Evelyn's terrified scream cuts through it. Urek shouts a guttural command, "Come to me! Run, Miss Evelyn!" and darts toward the fleeing woman, his speed a blur. She stumbles, panic clawing her throat, but Urek grabs her wrist, pulling her behind a broken column. A sudden shout from the shadows, "Hold!" echoes, but the monster's massive claw swipes the pillar, sending dust everywhere. Urek slams his forearm into the stone, creating a momentary shield. The cost? Evelyn's heart pounds, her breath ragged, and Urek's left arm trembles from the impact.
Run, Miss Evelyn.
The beast turns, eyes blazing, and the real fight erupts.
The queen darts past the chaos, her cloak flaring like a storm-born banner. She wants to escape the battlefield, fearing the monster's wrath and the tower's hidden eyes. The crowd blocks her path, unsure whether to aid or stop her. She darts forward, pushing through the stunned fighters, her eyes fixed on a distant doorway that promises safety. The monster snarls, lunges, but the queen slips through a narrow gap, vanishing from sight. The cost? Several allies stumble, bruised and confused, as the queen's sudden flight leaves a void of unanswered questions.
The queen is running.
Her mysterious destination now haunts every survivor's mind.
Urek steps forward, curiosity flickering behind his stare, and mutters, "Interesting," as the stone's faint glow pulses in rhythm with his heartbeat. A whisper from the shadows calls out a KO, a cryptic warning that barely registers over the arena's roar. The queen's silhouette disappears beyond the doorway, leaving a hollow where danger still lurks. Urek clenches his fists, feeling the stone's unstable power tug at his Shinsu, daring him to seize it. He knows that grasping the artifact could turn the tide, but the risk of it shattering his own control looms large. He has no idea what's waiting.
Urek slams his fist into the ground, sending a Shinsu wave that shatters the monster's iron hide and hurls the beast crashing into the far wall, scattering stone and silence. The queen trembles, fearing the monster's wrath and the tower's watchful eyes, while Evelyn scrambles for the glowing fragments, risking everything to restore the stone that could seal the creature's wound. A lone cloaked figure darts through the wreckage, her practiced grace unnerving the crowd, and a shadowed whisper mutters a KO, leaving the arena poised on the edge of an unknown threat. Secure your access to the best Manhwa recaps before the algorithm hides them. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The 5 factions slam their fists together, each swapping a member in a twisted handshake that crackles with uneasy trust. In an instant, a hulking warrior clad in armor etched with icy penguin motifs bursts from the shadows, flanked by spear-wielding phantoms whose spears blaze like living lanterns. Chaos erupts as Urek darts forward, his muscles rippling, shredding through the ambush. He snatches the trembling princess from the jaws of darkness, the cursed crown humming ominously behind them, its low growl echoing like a death song through the cavernous arena. With a roar, Urek hurls Khan into the swap, eyes blazing like twin furnaces.
The commander declares each member's duty. 2 guard the throne, 1 hunts the crown. He believes the split roles secure victory. Looming distrust among the factions blocks seamless cooperation, yet his confidence fuels his resolve. He signals the scout, trusting that the friendly facade masks a lethal edge. The scout nods, eyes cold, and whispers, "Even though we look friendly, that's exactly why those 3 will die by my hand." The promise of betrayal hangs heavy, sealing the fate of the unsuspecting trio.
Our decision seals their doom.
The next move will reveal who truly wears the smile. A low, guttural, echoes as the ground trembles, followed by a startled "dui" from the nearest combatant. The fallen creature's corpse crashes, scattering debris and revealing a glint of metal. Rapko mutters, disappointed, because the monster's armor hid the princess's true power. He eyes the strange woman beside the wreckage, noting her odd aura and the faint hum of a dormant ability. He considers extracting her for leverage, but the chaos forces him to retreat. He tosses a battered helmet aside, the clatter echoing like a warning. The cost. His chance to study her power slips away, and the unknown woman steps forward, drawing every eye.
She's strange, but useful.
Her next move could tip the balance of the crown hunt. A sudden, high-pitched screech erupts as a massive silhouette blocks the light. Urek and Khan lock eyes, refuse to abandon each other, and together shatter the towering, armor-clad beast that eclipses the arena, exposing the hidden crown's true power. Urek feels the crushing weight of every promise made in the crown hunt, realizing his grip on the jagged platform could cost his friends their lives while his own resolve teeters on the brink. The Lightbearer steps into the radiant glow, proclaiming the crown a sentient entity, while the Net Dolphin Queen's looming silhouette reappears, ready to crush anyone daring to claim its will. Don't wait. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari now so the next episode is waiting for you when you wake up. Urek bursts into the monster-infested arena, eyes locked on the glittering crown. He slams a spear through the beast's throat, shreds debris, and snatches the prize just as Miss Evelyn lunges, her grin a razor. An ascetic materializes, smirking, while the administrator's hidden eyes flicker. Urek's triumph sparks the next blood-stained game. Urek crashes into the monster-riddled arena, snatching the glimmering crown as the Princess of Zahid screeches. Evelyn lunges, and a cloaked ascetic smirks. He shatters the beast's skull, his fists cracking the floor, while Sancho's wild cackles echo. Behind the chaos, the administrator's hidden eyes flicker, and a new Pingjunghal pulse thrums, binding power to will.
Urek lunges at the roiling beast, spear cracking the arena's stone floor as Miss Evelyn darts for the glittering crown. Khan shatters a wall of Shinsu. Luro flanks the monster. While the ascetic's eyes glow, calculating every move. The administrator's hidden hand flickers in the shadows, and the new Pingjung Hall card hums, binding Urek's will to a looming master-servant pact. Manwa with Hari. You watch the chaos spike as the Princess of Zahard lunges for the glittering crown, but a trembling girl clutches it tighter, eyes wide with panic. She claims she never knew how it got there, her hands shaking as she begs for help. The others press, demanding the prize, their voices a grinding chorus. Urek charges into the beast-riddled arena, fists crackling with Shinsu as he snatches the glittering crown from Miss Evelyn's grasp. Jinsung's spear whirls, slashing a towering monster while Khan shatters the floor with a seismic wave. In the chaos, an ascetic steps from the shadows, his eyes fixed on the prize, and the administrator's hidden smile flickers across the battleground. Urek lunges across the roiling arena, his fists cracking the air as the monster's jaws snap shut behind him. Evelyn darts forward, crown glinting, while a grizzled ascetic smirks, his eyes flickering with hidden intent.
The princess steps forward, voice ringing with authority, claiming the crown as her birthright. She wants the symbol to cement her power, but the irregulars refuse to hand it over, believing the crown belongs to anyone who earns it. The monster, sensing the rising conflict, charges the group, its claws tearing the arena floor. The princess raises her staff, a bright aura flaring, and the monster recoils, stunned. Yet the irregulars press forward, surrounding the crown, each hand reaching for it. The arena trembles, and a hidden overseer watches, his smile unseen.
Hi, I, Princess of Zahard.
The ranker's mind races, recalling a card tucked in his coat, a tool he never thought he'd need. He flashes the card, its sigil pulsing with a strange, binding power. One move, one chance. He mutters, eyes fixed on the ascetic. The card's energy shoots toward the ascetic, binding his will for a heartbeat. The ascetic stumbles, surprised by the sudden restraint, his aura flickering. The ranker seizes the moment, striking the hidden overseer's flank. The cost? The card burns his own stamina, leaving him trembling on the brink of collapse. The price of that card may prove fatal. A hushed voice calls out, "Hey!" as the ranker's focus wavers, his breath ragged from the card's drain. Urek Mazino slams the glowing sigil-etched card into the arena, unleashing a binding wave that shatters the beast's defenses and forces the crown's power to surge outward. The ranker feels his life force ripped apart, gaining terrifying new power while his allies watch helplessly, fearing the cost may be his very soul. A shadowy figure steps from the dust, gauntlet alight, demanding a master-servant pact, leaving Urek poised on the brink of allegiance or annihilation. Every detail matters. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari, and we'll catch them all. Urek's blood-soaked promise tears the tower, and every rank swears to die. Mr. Lu's mind flips as he hears a frantic voice mention a stranger dressed exactly like him. He wants to know who this doppelganger is, but the crowd's panic drowns every clue. He lunges forward, shouting for anyone who saw the figure. The shout cuts through the chaos, but the man vanishes into the throng, leaving only a lingering echo of confusion. The hunt begins, and the tower's shadows grow deeper.
I met a Gwen wearing the same clothes as you, Mr. Lu.
And the missing twin could be a trap waiting to spring. The group demands answers, their nerves snapping like wires. Urek snatches the headscarf wrapped crown bait and hurls it toward the throne, while Yuri shouts, "It's a Schrödinger cat trap!" The Dolphin Queen's eyes flash, and she slips the real crown into her palm, unnoticed. Chaos erupts as Mr. Trek's goons scramble, their confidence shattering when the true prize vanishes, leaving everyone questioning who's really pulling the strings.
Leaving now does no good.
The group argues that fresh recruits act too rashly, their enthusiasm spilling over like spilled ink. One voice offers to trust the other's word, hoping a quick alliance will calm the chaos. Urek darts through the throne room, clutching the Dolphin Queen's glittering crown as the frantic headscarf. Duo wrestles a flimsy cloth-wrapped fake. Princess Yuri shouts, "It's a Schrödinger cat trick," while Kun's calculations crack under the roar of shouting.
The Dolphin Queen's sly smile confirms she's the real power broker, and every eye darts, wondering who will finally snatch the true prize. Urek lunges through the throne hall, scattering glittering shards of the fake crown as he shouts, "Everyone, look at the real prize." The Dolphin Queen smirks, clutching the genuine tiara beneath her scales, while the two frantic teammates tumble over a headscarf-wrapped decoy. With the alarm deafening the hall, every gaze fixes on the escaping duo who don the counterfeit crown, buying themselves a fleeting reprieve. They sprint toward the exit, desperate to use the fake as a shield while the real tiara stays concealed. Their betrayal ignites fury. Allies swing wildly, striking at air, their fists fueled by broken trust. The false crown glints briefly before slipping, and the crowd erupts in a chorus of curses. The price of the ruse is the loss of unity, and the throne room teeters on collapse.
Now everyone watches, run.
But the true danger lurks just beyond the doorway. The princess, desperate to stall the imposters, commands the front line to engage the two men and by precious seconds. She knows Urek Mazino is tied up helping Evelyn, unable to cover this side. The plan becomes a risky gamble. Sacrifice a few to weaken the enemy's numbers. She forces a reluctant ally to step forward, demanding a fight that feels more like a diversion than a true battle. The two rivals hesitate, their confidence wavering under the sudden pressure.
Pretend to face them, and hold them off for now. Urek Mazino is busy helping Evelyn. Can't pay attention. This could reduce their forces.
Every clash chips away at the looming threat. Chaos erupts as two of Mr. Trek's cronies clutch a headscarf-wrapped crown and sprint toward the throne, while Urek, Yuri, and the Dolphin Queen's allies storm the hallway, shouting over the pandemonium. A frantic Schrödinger cat analogy flies, then the truth shatters the farce. The real crown glints in the Dolphin Queen's grasp, turning laughter into a razor-sharp distrust that fuels the next hunt. Urek lunges through the throne room, snatching the scarf-wrapped trinket as Mr. Trek's goons scramble for the crown. Yuri shouts, "It's a decoy!" while the Dolphin Queen slips the real tiara into her palm, eyes glittering with political fire. Chaos erupts, headscarf tactics collide with frantic cat analogies, until every ally questions who truly wears the power.
Urek snatches the scarf-bound trinket as the Dolphin Queen slips the true crown into her hand amid chaotic clash, turning the throne room into a battlefield of betrayal. Yuri feels desperation surge as his blade cuts through allies, realizing the coveted crown is a decoy and his chance to secure power slips away. The hidden crown's location remains unknown, and the looming decision of who will claim it threatens to fracture every fragile alliance, leaving the tower's fate hanging by a trembling thread.
The screen is fading. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari before it's gone.
The salt-stung island erupts as angels clash with ascetics, their blades painting the flower crimson. Urek Mazino darts between carnage, his fists shattering bone while a Zahard princess snarls orders, and a Roman spearman hurls his weapon like a comet, corralling the bloodthirsty foes. Laughter cracks the horror, then a shadowy Chong flickers, pulling the strings of this gruesome rite. Urek crashes onto the salt-slick arena, the sky trembling as angels gleefully hack ascetics into a crimson river. He slams his fists beside a regal Zahard princess, while a Roman spearman darts, baiting the bloodthirsty choir. The chaos settles into a brief lull, and a lone figure steps forward, voice hoarse. "Sorry, but I..." He begins, then cuts himself off, the apology dying on his lips. He steadies his breath, then declares, "I'll decide when my time will come," refusing to bow to the angel's demand. His defiance fuels a surge of raw energy that ripples through the island, momentarily breaking the blood-dying spell. The angels recoil, their chants stuttering, while the crimson flower flickers, its glow dimming for the first time. The cost of rebellion is clear. The ritual teeters on collapse, and everyone watches the fragile balance wobble. "I'll decide when my time will come." Urek darts across the cracked arena, his grin flashing as he hurls a glinting spear toward the chanting angels. The spear arcs, splintering a crimson flower and spraying thick petals onto the blood-soaked sand. The princess of Zahard snarls, pivoting to block a surge of ascetic claws, then lunges, ripping a wound open in the lead angel's chest. Their joint roar rattles the island's stone walls, and the hidden Chong Iwem watches, eyes narrowed, calculating its next move. You feel the island's wind tear at your lungs, knowing every breath could be your last.
Cracks shatter beneath Urek's boots as he sprints toward the blood-soaked altar, spear thrusting forward with reckless precision.
A sudden, precise shot whistles through the air, striking from a place where no presence can be felt. The arrow finds its mark, shattering the calm and sending a shockwave of disbelief across the arena. Urek winces, feeling the sting of a hidden sniper's precision, while the Roman shields his comrades, eyes darting for the unseen shooter. The angels falter, their formation broken by the invisible threat. The cost is clear. Trust erodes, and every step now feels like a trap.
When
The princess glares at the Roman, accusing him of playing games, and the Roman retorts with a cold laugh, reminding her that jokes in this arena invite death. The princess clutches her amulet tighter, her breath shallow, while the angels close in, their spears glinting. The Roman spear tips crackle. The princess steps back, and the angels hesitate, sensing the tension. The Roman lunges, the princess flinches, and a sudden gust of wind throws sand into everyone's eyes, buying a split second of chaos. The cost. The princess drops her amulet, and the Roman's shoulder bleeds from a hidden arrow. He has no idea what's waiting.
Mr. Roman.
Urek lunges as the spear shatters the stone, unleashing a pulsing orb that erupts in blinding light, scattering blood-soaked angels and igniting the arena's deadly ritual. The princess clutches her wounded shoulder, feeling betrayal sear through her veins, while the Roman's cold laugh threatens to drown her hope, leaving her barely clinging to survival. The orb hovers, its dying star glow flickering. While the angels stare, the Roman spear trembles, and the next strike hangs on the edge of oblivion. You're procrastinating, I'm narrating. It's a perfect match. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.